Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well, and today it's a bit of a different video. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be ranking different martial arts based off how effective they are in the streets with how good they are for fighting. But before I do so, I mean no disrespect to any of them, they are all effective in different areas. So yeah, the columns we have are, so we'll go bottom to top: bad, meh, decent, good, and God. So, first up, we have Jeet Kune Do, otherwise known as Jai-Hill. And straight away, this is going right into God tier. I mean, this is by far one of the best and most useful martial arts ever. From their Jai-Hill kickboxing system, all the way up to their street self-defense. For anyone wanting to do martial arts, this is the best. You will learn so much, and all the stuff is 100% effective in the streets and even in the gym and the dojo. And anything else is a little bit of background, as this is actually Bruce Lee's martial arts. I would 100% take this up, as you know, you learn from the best by Bruce Lee. This is amazing, 100% useful. Yeah. So, next up is karate. And this is going into the meh category. Now, a lot of people might hate me for this, but really, technically, this is not the best martial arts. Don't get me wrong, their kicking is good. Yeah, their kicking is good. But for their street self-defense, it's not the best. A few things, but most of it is trash. And I mean, no disrespect to any martial arts, but most of it just won't work. It might be good in the dojo and all, but sometimes in the street it might not work. I mean, there's better martial arts out there that you can be taking. Yeah. But yeah. Next up, I mean, but before we get into it, the reason it's lower is because their kicks are good. The reason it isn't lower is because their kicks are good, don't get me wrong in that. There's a few things here and there that are helpful, but most things are not. And I know this through experience, as I've done it and it's just not worked. Yeah, so just no offence to anyone, but next up is Taekwondo. I done this for 3 years actually, in fact nearly 4. I got to blue belt, and therefore I'm going to put this in bad, simply because it is bad. I mean, it's not effective in the streets at all. The reason it's not in shit is because it's not shit. Well, because you learn the basics, like how to punch and kick, but their self-defense is bad. Their blocking is terrible. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, I know that's through experience. Please take a different martial art, but for beginning, and yeah, it's not the best. So yeah. Next up we have boxing. Now, I've been doing boxing for 4 years. I'm still doing it, and I have to put this in good. Brilliant for the streets. You learn how to punch, set up combos, defend, movement. The reason it isn't in God is because we're talking about this based in the streets. It's not in God because in the streets it's not all punching, because there's going to be kicking and takedowns. Beside that, it is amazing. Definitely worth taking up. I have used my boxing skills in the dojo, sometimes in the street, countless times. I mean, I hate when people say boxing is shit in the street. Like, right? It's not. It's brilliant for the street. I mean, but obviously the kicking part, which actually leads on to the next martial art, which is Muay Thai. And this is going to God tier, because it is legit a mixture of everything. Punches, kicks, knees, elbows, even some takedowns like foot sweeps, inside traps, and brilliant clinch work. Also teaches you how to be aggressive, which is very good, and strong, so you can take a punch, which this is 100% effective, definitely worth taking up. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Next up on the list is Krav Maga. Now, before we get into this, you might hear me doing this a lot. Right? And that's because I've got the cold, right? And I'm very sorry for that. But anyway, next is Krav Maga. Now, this is a tough one, but I'm going to have to put it in the meh column, as some of the martial arts stuff kinda works, like the groin strikes and a couple more things, but all the other stuff is just shit. Well, it's not shit, but it's not good. There's just better martial arts you can take up and learn. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to get into it too much because I riot, you know what I mean? But next up is judo. I'm going to have to put this in the meh. Now, a lot of people might be angry at that, but because, don't get me wrong, the throws, ground game and stuff is amazing, and it'll work 100%. It'll work. Trust me on that, it'll work. But not for the striking. There's not a lot of it, and most of the time, if you're taking up judo, you're not going to punch somebody in the street. If you're in a street fight, you're going to take them down. But if you want to learn how to strike and stuff, judo is not for you, right? If you want to learn how to strike, go to boxing or Muay Thai. Judo, don't get me wrong, the ground game isn't brilliant, but it is 100% effective, that stuff, in the ground, but the striking and the elements, nah, you're going to have to do a different martial arts. So, next up, we have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And that is going to go in the decent category. It's going above judo because they work more in their ground game. Judo is a lot of throws, not as much ground game, but yeah. But the same as judo, the grappling and ground game is amazing, one of the best, and 100% effective. But there's no striking, so if you want to strike, there's no need to take up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Although, it is amazing, but 9 times out of 10, a fight ends with striking in the street. Not a lot of time it goes to the ground. But yeah, next spot, similar to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Alongside Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that is going to go up into the meh category. So it is. No, sorry, the decent category, I got that wrong. The decent category that's going to go up into. Now, some of the stuff works and some of it doesn't. So 50-50. I'm not going to get into it too much, but yeah, some of it works. Their defence, striking, some of that works, but not all of it. 50-50. There's better martial arts, once again, you can be taken. So I don't want to get into it too much. So, sorry about that again. Next up, we have Tai Chi. And that's going in bad because most of it is useless. You might find some things useful, like a block, but most of it isn't good. Now, there's a better choice that you can be taken. And I mean that in no disrespect. None of these in disrespect, but there's better ones you can take in. So, next is Wing Chun. Now, this is going in to the decent. Some of it works, and some of it doesn't. Like, some of the Jackie D mix, but some things doesn't work. It's 50-50. You're not... Some and some don't, right? That's it. There's a different martial art that you could take and that you're going to learn more from and going to be better. Right? And, speaking of Jackie D, next up is Kali. And that, straight away, God category. Absolutely amazing. Everything works, from their angles, the Costa angles, to their disarms and knives. Amazing for the streets. Please, 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 take this. The stick and knife self-defense is 100% effective. I have done it for a while now. It works, trust me. So yeah, please take this up. You're going to learn a lot. Yeah. My next, last but not least, is Kung Fu. And that is going into the bad, because just like the other ones in the list, most of it is bad and it doesn't work. You get the odd thing, but please take a different martial art, and you're going to learn more for that different martial arts than you are. Yeah, sorry about that again. Now, that is the reason. Now, we're going to go into the reason why none of it is in the column, because I believe no martial art is shit, and they all work in their own way. So, yeah, please mean no disrespect, but just no, right? So, here is a finished tier list. So, hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Now, if I missed anything or you want to see any videos next, comment down below, and I'll see you later. Peace.
安全是